Farming isn't just about growing food for survival anymore. Today, it's a way for people, especially young ones, to make a living. One person embracing this shift is Maurice Ikonya from Mycelium Foods Limited in Dumberi, Kiambu County. He's become well known for growing and selling oyster mushrooms, one of the many types of edible mushrooms. Maurice takes us through the entire process of cultivating these nutritious fungi.
We're in Kiambu town, Kiambu County, where we grow mushrooms. We have a number of varieties where we grow button and oyster varieties, which are the popular ones in the country. So at the moment, the farm we are in, we only grow oyster mushrooms. For the oyster variety that we're growing here, there are a number of steps that we need to take. The first one is to select the substrate, the type of substrate that we use. You can use a number of agricultural waste, and ourselves we use wheat straw. After wheat is harvested, whatever is left behind, that is what we collect, and we add other materials such as wheat bran and agricultural lime. There are other substrates that you can use. You can use maize stovers, you can use maize cobs, you can use banana leaves, and even bean stalks and rice straw.
The good news for anyone interested in oyster mushroom farming is that the materials needed for growing them are easy to find and inexpensive, making it a great option for new farmers. This farm uses a substrate, a growth medium for the mushrooms that's readily available.
We need to pasteurize our straw. Because it might be dirty at the farm where it was being collected, it might have some dirt. We use two ways of pasteurization, the cold method and the steaming as well, whereby we use coarse calcium, which is calcium hydroxide, about 500 grams in 100 liters of water. We stir, then we put the straw inside. We soak it for about 30 minutes. Calcium hydroxide assists in raising the pH. Once we raise the pH and we dip our straw in there, it helps in the process of pasteurization. Then after that, we remove our straw and on a polythene paper, a black polythene, we have sawdust whereby we have lined it up together with wheat bran. We mix together with the pasteurized straw. After mixing it together, we put it in bags of 2 kg capacity, and then we steam.
Once you're at a stage where you're putting the substrate into bags, it's crucial to make them airtight. Why? Because the mushrooms grow in an environment that needs carbon dioxide, not oxygen. Also, since mushroom spores are microscopic, they need the continuous substrate to spread properly inside the bag. Maurice explains why they steam the substrate before adding the mushroom spores.
The reason why we steam is to pasteurize further. We steam to kill any seed that might be there. Remember, we are using agricultural waste. We might have some wheat that is remaining there. You might have any other weed that might sprout instead of our mushrooms. So to mitigate on that, we need to steam our bags. We steam for about 2 hours and then we let them cool. After they cool, we inoculate, or we introduce now the seed of the mushroom.
It's all about preventing contamination and making sure the environment is right for the spores to grow. They steam the substrate for 2 hours, making sure the bags don't come into direct contact with the drums to avoid burning them. After that, the bags are left to cool, and then the mushroom seeds are introduced, ready to incubate.
After we inoculate or put the seed, we bring them in the room and we put them on the floor. We align them, and then we cover. You can cover with a black polythene again on top, just to raise the temperatures. Once the temperatures rise between 26 to 29 degrees, colonization will happen faster, between 21 to 28 days. So the colonization is the movement of mycelia in the substrate. It colonizes the substrate looking for nutrients to consume. Once the whole bag is white, that is when we come and hang them.
One thing Maurice points out is that the right climate is essential for growing mushrooms. Luckily, he's got it down to a science and explains how to create the perfect conditions for them, even if you're growing them indoors.
When the mushroom bag turns white, we come and open it at the front, and then we mist. We have to introduce now RH, relative humidity has to go high. We use a knapsack whereby we can come with a clean knapsack, and then we put water. We have a water in the grow house, and then we just move around misting to make the environment wet and humid. They need low temperatures between 18 to 20 degrees, and RH, which is relative humidity, needs to be 90 to 100% in the room.
Maurice also tells us how long it takes after misting the bags for the mushrooms to start sprouting, and how many times you can harvest from one bag, as well as the shelf life of the mushrooms after each harvest.
After that, 4 days, you have pinheads, they come out of the mushroom bag, and then you start harvesting. In a growing room, you can harvest for about 2 to 3 months, depending on the nutrients in that bag. And then after you harvest the mushrooms, they have a shelf life of 10 days.
Once the mushrooms are ready to harvest, you can sell them fresh or dried. Maurice explains that if you're selling them fresh, they are simply packed in pannets, but for dried mushrooms, you should avoid sun drying them. Instead, he shares a better method to get them perfectly dry.
You can sun dry, but you lose a lot of nutrients if you do direct sun drying. So for ourselves, we use a solar dehydrator, whereby it's like a greenhouse that has been constructed with shelves, whereby after shredding the mushrooms, we lay them on top, and the heat assists in drying the mushrooms.
Of course, no farming venture is without its challenges, and Maurice isn't shy about sharing what to expect when growing oyster mushrooms.
Number one is skill. A lot of farmers that we are contracting, we have to train them fast so that they can gain the skill of growing mushrooms. Because you cannot just mix everything without any formulation, and then you put the seed, and then you expect mushrooms that will grow. So we have to train them fast. That is the first challenge. The second challenge is the room. The growing room, those conditions meeting them sometimes are becoming a challenge, and also hygiene, maintaining hygiene, because mushrooms are hygienic. They do not want contamination at all. Yes, if you have any contamination, your bags will not fruit as required. Mushrooms are liked by a lot of pests. There are flies who want to come and lay eggs inside there. We have rats. From the rats, in fact, rats are menace. So you have to make sure you cover any opening that you have in your grow house, so that rats do not get in. They like eating the spawn that we use, because we use grain spawn. So they'll come and tear the bag as they're looking for the grain. And then the snails. The snails will now be biting on the mushrooms. So again, you don't have to have any openings on your house. If you have any for ventilation, then you make sure it is covered by a net. So that way you try to mitigate those challenges of pests and diseases. Then mold. Once it's contaminated, molds is a type of disease that will grow in your bag, and it will affect your productivity. Mushrooms are very perishable, so they go bad very fast. So a challenge would be, you've harvested the previous night, you want again to harvest today, you keep all those mushrooms together so that you can supply tomorrow. That one will be a huge challenge. And us as mycelia will not accept such mushrooms that have stayed for too long. So you need to harvest in the morning, and you deliver in the morning.
Despite the challenges, Maurice wraps up by explaining why oyster mushrooms are the top choice over other types of mushrooms.
Market is good. Of course, Kenyans, they want to eat the fresh one. So that is what we've been selling. We are contracted by the supermarkets and hotels in town. So we are contracted farmers. Once we harvest, we take them there. The fresh ones are moving faster than the dry mushrooms. The good thing with the dry mushrooms is that we can also mill them into powder. So now the powder has many uses. You can use it as a fortifier. You can use it as to add more nutrients and flavor into your meal. So when you're doing meat dishes, you can use the powder. When you're doing porridge, you can do a tablespoon of the powder. And you can also use that powder to do pastry dishes. Like for ourselves, we are doing mushroom cookies.
And here is what you require to be a mycelium mushroom farmer.
The first thing we need them to do, we have to train them. Even if you have been growing mushrooms before, if you want to be contracted as a mushroom farmer by Mycelian Foods Limited, we have to train you afresh because we want to take you through the good agricultural practices. Then we show you where to be buying or sourcing your raw materials, and then we'll supply you with spawn. Spawn is the seed that will be used to grow the mushrooms. So after that, now we are sure of the ways that you're growing the mushrooms, and we are sure of the spawn that you're using, because what we are selling mostly as oyster is white variety. The market has not adapted very well to other colors of oyster variety, because there are many. We have gray, we have purple, we have blue, we have brown, but here locally the consumers, they want the white variety. So Mycelia, we supply you with a spawn, and then we buy back the produce. So those are the conditions that we give to our farmers.